morning sunlight streaming through my window wakes me up instead of my alarm, and I realize it must be Sunday. Emmy has kindly deigned to give me weekends off from morning runs. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday or if I slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest, and as I lever myself out of bed. All this running has really taken it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It has gotten a little easier. I've been worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but thus far I haven't really minded them that much. It's only been a week. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out now. As Emmy said, it's hard to stop a routine when there's another person. And frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with a disappointed Emmy. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes and I'd feel terrible about myself. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to be somewhere today? Whoa. Hey, we've never seen that effect. That's so weird. You're coming to my track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are. Right? It's puppy dog guys again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right? Yeah, we've already... Emmy's track meet. I better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running, since she's the only reason I'm even considering going. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of going. And so I soon find myself quite suddenly surrounded by a crowd of people, all turning out to see the track team compete with another school like this one. I'll admit, it's almost comforting to know that we're not the only school like this. After you see that there must be two schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. Oh, I feel like he didn't bring that up last time. But I guess it makes sense, they all had stuff wrong with them. I don't know. You also stop feeling unique, which in most cases would be a bad thing, but in this case, it sure as hell isn't. That's part of Yamiku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn that there's a lot of others who would kill to be saddled with your problem instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of the kids here aren't here because they're missing a leg or have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. And that's only if they have the right sort of care. It's a bitter sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I've got a chance of being alive through college. But there it is. I'm brought out by my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Rin near the entrance of the bleachers. You came. Of course. I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things they don't mean them. Well, I don't. Rin shrugs, seemingly bored with our conversation as she turns on her heels and heads back towards the sands. I owe Emmy money now. Why's that? I didn't think you'd show up. Emmy did. So I owe her 500 yen. You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Another shrug from my armless companion. Jeez, I don't think so. We enter the bleachers and Rin nods upwards. Up there. I came out to see if you'd come. For the bet, I presume? Rin leads the way, and soon we've settled on an almost empty bench. Damn. There's an older woman sitting next to Rin. Someone's mother, I assume. She's got rather long hair up in a braid. On seeing Rin, she gives her an oddly familiar seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I hope that's the voice I gave her. I don't remember. I thought you'd get the snack, not a boy. Huh? Snack? I wondered why I was down there. The woman shrugs again in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen her before? Well, I suppose you've always been one out for the one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Mako Abirazaki, Emmy's mother. Pleased to meet you. Sorry, I kicked my microphone on my... That explains it. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emmy. God. Apart from her hair being a darker shade than Emmy's, there is really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Hisao Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself, Mrs. Abirazaki. That's really Rin's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emmy's mother. I take it you've not known Rin for long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got other things to think about, I assume. Rin nods, seemingly pleased at this assessment. She's right. I was thinking about sunsets. You see, it's really up to us to make the introductions and the like. For the lack of a better response, I nod. If Mrs. Abirazaki leans in her seat and raises an eyebrow. So, how long have you and Rin been dating? My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear, but just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother bursts into laughter again. Ah, you're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there should be any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Maybe. So this is the new romance then, mustn't it? Wait, that's not the question. Another laugh. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry. Forgive an old woman and her amusements. Old woman? Sure doesn't look that old to me. Clearly, Emmy gets her youthful features from her mother. I suppose I can let it go. How kind of you. It's starting. Yeah, that's our friend. I remember. She helped us with Hanako. I'm surprised we haven't seen her anywhere else. I direct my attention to the track where they're preparing for their first sprint. It looks like a 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting like a blur. It's amazing. Seeing the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside of the line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. Their efforts come to naught, though, since a final burst of speed from Emmy leaves them at least a half a second. Sorry, whoa. Behind. Whoa. Izabiri whoops and shouts, applauding wildly and generally looking like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I cheer right along with the rest of them. The announcer, sounding suspiciously like Misha, gleefully gives the results. I think she's gotten faster since the last time. That was incredible. Izabiri grins proudly. Emmy's a heck of a runner. We all fall silent and the next event is being prepared. I'm surprised to see Emmy striding out onto the track again. Wait, didn't she just run? Emmy's mother nods. Yes, but she runs multiple events for the team, especially the sprints. It's a lot of running, but Emmy can handle it. From the looks of things, she's right. Emmy doesn't appear to be tired, and she hadn't run the previous event at all. If not for the sweat visible on her shirt, you'd never know. Which event is this? It's the 200-meter dash. She'll do this one, the 100-meter, and the relay. I see. Once again, the pistol sounds, and once again, Emmy flies off the block. A thumping sound draws my attention away from the race. It's Rin's foot. She seems completely absorbed in the race. Emmy's mother cheers again, and I assume the race is over. Sprints don't seem to me like they'd take very long to complete. Your foot was bouncing on the bleachers. Oh, you seem pretty into this stuff. I'm surprised. Rin looks at me quizzically. Why wouldn't I be? No reason. I just thought stuff like sports wouldn't interest you. I suppose you're right. It's not that interesting. But I'm watching Emmy, not the sport. I don't follow. Emmy's the most Emmy when she runs. You don't get to see Emmy at her Emmyest very often. But here you can see. You can see. She directs my attention towards the track again where the 100-meter dash is about to start. I watch Emmy closely. As she gets on the starter block, her whole body seems to relax, but it's a false relaxation. I can see that she's actually coiled up like a spring. We have seen this before in Rin's, but I'm just reading it again. As the starter tells everyone to get set, her head snaps up and her eyes narrow slightly. Her mouth curls upwards to see what a grin could be a growl. When the pistol goes off, it seems that she's been unreleased from a cage, like she was always moving at this blinding speed, but we couldn't see it happening until the starter's pistol dispelled the illusion of motionlessness. It's all over in a few seconds, but in those few seconds, I feel like I just witnessed something very personal for Emmy. As soon as she crossed the finish line, the fierce look was replaced by a normal grin. A conquering general returning to his farm. Amazing. She's really amazing. I've never seen anyone move that fast. Well, don't look at me. Oh, sorry. Well, don't look at me. I'm far too relaxed to run that fast. Nah, I don't think Emmy's prowess came all from her father's side. As she mentions Emmy's father, Mrs. Ibiriyazaki looks wistful, almost sad. Oh, he died in the car crash. He got her into running, you know. Yeah, she told me. Did she? I don't remember that. I'm uncertain to whether or not it would be rude for me to ask about after Emmy's father. But after the look on her face a few days ago, I feel compelled to ask. Where is her father now, if I might ask? I don't remember her telling us about her dad. Emmy's mother hesitates, clearly not willing to answer this question, but at the same time not wishing to appear rude. He isn't around anymore. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories. Emmy just seemed a little sad when she mentioned him earlier. I don't remember her doing that. Maybe she did. I don't know. That's not surprising, considering. They were very close. I see. A beeping noise suddenly emanates from Miss Ibirizaki's pocket. Reaching into it, she pulls out a cell phone and looks at it. Honestly, text messages. What is he, 16? Damn, man, she's just Going out with some other dude. That's crazy. Oh, nothing. I've got to go meet up with a friend of mine. Will you tell Emmy that I'm very proud of her and that I'll call her lady tonight? Of course. Yeesh. I'll admit that I zone out for a while. I almost don't notice that the relay's about to begin, but when I look, I can't find Emmy. Thought Emmy would be running in the relay. She runs anchor, so she won't be running for a while yet. Ah, did you see it? Oh, Emmy at her Emmyest. Maybe. Maybe this time. The race begins, and I cheer Emmy's teammates along as they pass the baton. This isn't a relay. There's too many people. Finally, I see Emmy sprinting onto the track, take the final handoff. Once again, I'm taken aback by how graceful she looks when she runs. It really is beautiful. The look of determination and fearlessness on her face only adds to the picture. Emmy at her Emmyest, I suppose. But then she crosses the finish line, and I see her stumble slightly. But it's only barely, and she still has mostly her legs. She just doesn't have her knee down. I keep thinking like her legs get cut off like here. Is my mouse? Yeah. I feel like her legs get cut off here when you just look at her. She's basically has all her legs, which I guess is fucked up to say. But she at least has her knees. That's cool. It's only barely, but it's a definite stumble. Rin inhales sharply and looks almost concerned for a second. Oh, Emmy. Did she hurt herself, do you think? You noticed it too? It must be bad. She frowns as if deciding on the next course of action. Eventually, that proposes to be too tiresome and she shrugs again. Well, let's go down. Gotta crown the victor. See if you can find a laurel branch. It's not gonna be easy. Rin shrugs. At least we tried. We actually didn't try that hard. Or at all, but whatever. Emmy is surrounded by her teammates, and all of them congratulating her on the run. Rin seems to be waiting for Emmy to notice that she's arrived. Oh yeah, I guess she can't exactly wave Emmy over. Then again, I'm not really sure that Rin would do such a thing if she had arms. It seems not her style to draw attention to herself, or emote beyond shrugging. Either way, I'm not willing to wait, so I wave down Emmy, who looks up and grins happily at me. Us. Hey, you showed up. Guess Rin owes me money, huh? We would have brought you a crown of laurels, but the sow didn't find one. Me? Hey, neither did you. It wasn't my job to look. Why did we assign jobs? When I said see if you can find a laurel branch. Try to keep up. I shrug. Guess Rin's rubbing off on me. Seems it's my fault after all, Emmy. Emmy shrugs. Laughs and grins at Rin and me. It's okay, I'm sure you'll make up for me somehow. Sure. Good. So, how'd I look? I stop myself from blurting out beautiful or amazing and settle for something substantially safe or very impressive. Emmy seems pleased with this assessment. I don't mention how much more impressive her performance is given her lack of legs. I figure she knows that already. Besides, it seems that it would take away from her efforts somehow. Great to hear. I was worried that I looked a little slow on the relay, but I guess I did fine, huh? Actually, I noticed Rin kicks me and keeps me from finishing my sentence. What was that all about? You noticed. At the end. That's no good. Guess the nurse will have to look at me later. What was that? There's a carelessness in her voice as if it's not a big deal. I suddenly notice a slight twitch on her face. She looks like she's trying to hide the fact that she's in pain. It's then that I notice her breathing is a little shallow, too. I guess she really is hurt. She must notice my concern, but because she skips to me and gives me a friendly pat on the shoulder. Hey, you look a little worried. I'm fine, really. Just sore from all the running, that's all. And come on, a little pain isn't gonna stop me. Oh no. Emmy grins for a moment. She looks like she did during her sprint. Fierce and unconquerable. Or to put it another way, really beautiful. Hasn't yet. The sow's really getting into her, bro. Well then, I guess I shouldn't worry, huh? Damn right. I'm Emmy Bierzaki. Fastest thing on no legs. I don't stop for anything. Impressive. Emmy giggles and then seems to remember something. Oh, before I forget, Rin and I are going to do something next Sunday at a post-track meet celebration. You should come along. Normally we do it the day after, but since the track meet was on a Sunday, I've got homework and class and all that stuff to take care of. Plus our morning round course. Right, of course. Alright, your mom wanted me to say she's proud of you. She'll call you later tonight. I thought I saw her on the stands. I'm glad she made it. It used to be my dad who showed up to my meets, but Mom's done a pretty good job of taking over. Ooh, she shivers slightly, and I realize that she's all sweaty. A breeze has started to blow, too. I'm not cold at all, but I've got my jacket with me, so without a word, I throw it around her shoulders. Aw. Damn this out. He's like doing the most boyfriend things for her already. I swear he didn't do any of this for any of the other girls. He did no boyfriend shit to anybody. I swear him and Emmy are like the actual couple of the game. Emmy jumps slightly, then grins at me. Hey, thanks. I'm getting a little cold, I guess. Yeah, it looks like it. Just as I begin to wonder whether or not giving Emmy my jacket could have been taken the wrong way, a boy in the track uniform approaches. Hey, Emmy, you're gonna miss the medal ceremony. Oh yeah, thanks. She turns and to Emmy and to Rin and myself. You don't have to stick around for this part. It takes forever. Besides, you should get cracking on your homework now if you want to be up late. So, morning run tomorrow too. Don't forget. How could I? Good point. It means spending time with me after all. Dang. With this, she waves quickly and dashes off to receive her medals, or whatever they pass off as medals these days. Rin and I head away from the track, Rin remaining deep in whatever thoughts she has for most of her walk back to the dorm. As I see her off, she speaks up. You're probably not going to get that coat back, I think. I'm sure I'll get it back eventually. Interesting. Take it as it comes, huh? Very Emmy-ish. Okay. With this odd statement, she turns and heads into the building. Honestly, was it that big of a deal? Emmy was cold and, unless I'm mistaken, in pain. Giving her a solution to at least one of those problems seems like an obvious reaction. Though I guess there is a chance that I could lose my jacket if Emmy never remembers to return it. It's not about not remembering, it's about not wanting to. I know this. I guess Rin has a point. I still have a jacket missing, I swear to God. Still, I can't believe that I had too much muster or worry over the whole thing. After all, it's been getting warmer lately. I don't need a jacket. Odd. I think I used to be a little more responsible with my stuff. Emmy-ish, huh? Maybe that's not really a bad thing. Okay. Okay, Sam. I see you. We all see you.